New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, the one-time crowned prince to be the future of the Democrat Party. Stick a fork in him, baby. He's done. For several days, the Cuomo administration has been rocked by the news that they cooked the books on how many people actually died in nursing homes as a result of the governor's policy initially at the outbreak of the pandemic to take people who had tested positive for COVID and were in the hospital to not, quote unquote, overwhelm the hospitals, to stick those people in nursing homes, thus leading to the deaths of the most vulnerable. Now, New York had been reporting somewhere about 8,000 to 9,000 nursing home deaths. Now it turns out it's more like 15,000 to 16,000 because we still don't have a full accounting. Now, initially, Governor Cuomo said, hey, who cares?
A third of all deaths in this nation are from nursing homes. New York State, we're only about 28% only, but we're below the national average in number of deaths in nursing homes. But who cares?
Yeah, just taking an old play from Hillary Rodham Clinton.
But who cares?
What difference at this point does it make?
But then over the weekend, you had the New York Post and the New York Times reporting on a Cuomo staff member who actually admitted, yeah, we cooked the books on this one. We didn't want the Department of Justice to know how many people had died. We did not want to, and fill in the blank. That didn't bode well, even with New York Democrats. On February 12th, Jessica Ramos, a New York State Senator from Queens, tweeted, Governor Cuomo and his administration knowingly chose to lie and play politics with New Yorkers' lives. His emergency powers must be rescinded. He and his administration must be subpoenaed, and a full investigation must result in justice for our grieving families. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Governor Cuomo tried to weather this storm by basically ignoring it. And he got plenty of cover from the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media. Because remember, they were salivating over the fact that during the height of the pandemic, that it was Governor Cuomo who was coming out every day and having these marvelous press briefings and these news conferences, and he was being so forthright with the people, and he was following the science, and he was taking jabs at basically what a buffoon the president was. Well, let's see. The president, who sent military ships to New York City to act as hospitals so that the New York hospitals would not be overwhelmed. The president who organized the military to create a hospital at the Jarvis Center. The president, friends with Franklin Graham of Samaritan's Purse, who organized Samaritan's Purse to go into Central Park and create a hospital so that the New York hospitals would not be overwhelmed. And how did Governor Cuomo say thank you? Well, Samaritan's Purse got deemed as a homophobic Christian right organization, therefore they gotta go. And they never did use a single hospital bed at the Jarvis Center. And they never did really use the military ships, surgeon ships, that were in New York Harbor. Because Cuomo was placing COVID people in nursing homes, and people were dying. And he was lying about it. At first saying that he was told to do this by the Trump administration and Trump's CDC. Well, now that we have a staff member, one of those whistleblowers, and to the left, to Democrats, why, whistleblowers, they're like saints, especially when they are whistleblowers inside a conservative group that then comes forward and says things like, I've worked for the tobacco industry for like 40 years, and I can tell you, smoking, not good. We have a whistleblower. You know, the whistleblowers that supposedly were going to take down Donald Trump in impeachment number 1, because after all, they heard from a friend who was there from a friend who heard what Donald Trump said on that Ukrainian phone call. And remember, we couldn't even mention the name of the whistleblower, or we would have our social media accounts taken down. We wouldn't be able to YouTube if we mentioned the name of the whistleblower. But now we have a whistleblower inside the Cuomo administration saying, yeah, we lied. We didn't tell anybody what the real numbers were. And the media's giving him cover, especially his brother over there on the Clown News Network, Fredo. Even the Biden administration, they had referred to Governor Cuomo as the gold standard governor for how you handle pandemics. The gold standard. Cuomo got an enemy. Cuomo got an Emmy. And yet they'll turn right around and vilify Governor Rick DeSantis, who dared to go against Fauci and the CDC, who dared to go against the Biden mandates and has kept Florida open, and Florida is doing well. In fact, they have far less deaths than California and New York combined. But then there's Governor Cuomo, who finally couldn't ignore the flap anymore, and on Monday, he was going to answer questions and be forthright. And what did we get? Another endless string of excuses and why it wasn't his fault.
March 25th, that's right when the New York City Health and Hospitals, Elmhurst Hospital, collapsed. We're watching the TV every night and watching Italy collapse and people die because they can't get into a hospital. We're watching China with a hospital capacity issue where they were building thousands of new hospital beds. COVID did not get into the nursing homes by people coming from hospitals. COVID got into the nursing homes by staff walking into the nursing home.
I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
When Governor Cuomo said, well, there might have been a breakdown in communication, Jessica Ramos sprang back into action and tweeted, trash, no one believes you. And then she tweeted, at no point did the administration notify the legislature about a DOJ investigation. People died, Cuomo lied, and then he had the gall to write a book. Boom! Having lived in New York for nearly 40 years of my life, I can tell you that when Democrats turn on Democrats, it's over. Or let me say it the way Cuomo would have heard it in his neighborhood. It's over. It's it. This is it. You know, one of the things that has really irked those of us on the conservative side is how Republicans, in particular the establishment, rhinos, will throw their own under the bus if it means being able to save their own skin and keep their own position of power. Look at those 7 traitor Republicans in the Senate that voted for the impeachment of Donald Trump. The beautiful thing is, they are going to be primaried, and Mitt Romney, you are one and done, pal. Get used to the idea of not returning to the Senate, because you ain't, pal. You're done. That said, the frustrating thing, and yet at the same time kind of the awe-inspiring thing, is how Democrats never turn on their own. They always circle the wagons, and they always defend. But when Democrats finally do turn on one of their own, it's over. Just ask Al Franken, who couldn't survive the whole Me Too thing. And now you have New York Democrats saying, yeah, Cuomo's emergency powers need to be rescinded, and a full-blown investigation needs to be done. This story is not going away. Cuomo lied, people died. Period. And here's the thing, when it comes to a news story, especially about something regarding politics, that's a concept everybody can wrap their head around. Cuomo lied, people died. And if even in the very beginning, he and some other governors thought, well, maybe to keep the hospitals from being overwhelmed, we need to do this, it became very evident very quickly, bad idea, bad. And there were alternatives like the creation of more hospital space, which is what the president did for Cuomo. He chose not to avail himself to it, rather purposely, knowingly sent infected people into the most vulnerable of environments. Nursing homes filled with shut-in, elderly people with extenuating health circumstances, and because they were kind of living in a bubble, they had no immune system to fight it off. In fact, we might consider this premeditated. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure you smack the bell. Click the word all to get notification of my next rant.